To a builder, a van is a tool. And that tool needs to work at all times because it's got to get you from job to job, from A to B, and carry all your stuff faultlessly. In order to do that, you need to know all the information about what's going on with your vehicle at all times. So which absolute brain box at Volkswagen decided not to fit a temperature gauge? Now luckily for you, I have a little fix for it. It's called a Carista little dongle thingy for the OBD2 and an app called Fusion OBD. I know what you're thinking already. You're thinking, so what does this have to do with a thermostat? Well, with your Carista dongle plugged in and your engine started, now you can use the app Fusion OBD to connect to the Carista, and eventually you can open the dashboards part of this app, which brings you to sort of this setup. I've changed this slightly. You can change the gauges or whatever, but you end up with the top right hand one, if in my case, being the engine temperature. Now, trust me on this, I'm not going to warm the van up. I haven't got much fuel in it. It's going to take a long time, but as you can see, it says 0. That will never go above 65, 70 according to this gauge, which means that my thermostat must be always open. So the next question is this a problem? Is the engine running cooler than it should be an issue? And the answer is yes, because oil is supposed to work at a certain temperature. It's supposed to work at 90 degrees C in terms of the coolant temperature, 90 degrees C in terms of the oil temperature. If it's not reaching that, it's not working like it should be. It might be too thick or too thin. I can't remember the details. I'm not a scientist. But it might be too thick or too thin for the application, in which case premature wearing on the engine. So the only thing left to do really is to replace the thermostat and then test it and make sure that we're all working properly afterwards. However, I have my own little challenge, and that challenge is that I only have about 800 ml of concentrate. I've got loads of deionized water, but obviously with the weather drawing in, I kind of want to keep the coolant content quite high. So I had a few ideas on how I was going to do this. I think I've just got to grin and bear it that I'm going to lose the liquid that's in the block. But if I can clamp this pipe here and this pipe here and bring them both up so that they're higher than the coolant bowl, or at least near enough, I shouldn't lose what's in the radiator and what's in the expansion tank. I'll just lose what's in the block, and I think I have enough to top that back up again. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. That's the game plan. I guess there's only one way to find out if that's actually going to work. So here is the old thermostat. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but you know, these things wear out. Here is a new one with a new O-ring. They look the same, should be the same. Hopefully this fixes the issue. I've got a horrible feeling putting it back on is going to be a lot harder than taking it off because of how hard those screws were to get to, but there's only one way to find out. So the way you put the new thermostat on is you start off with your new O-ring, that goes onto your housing like this, and then your new thermostat slots in there like that. Give it a little push and it'll actually hold it in place. And you just got to sort of push this into position and do the screws up. How hard can it be?
So you can just see me here picking up the second bolt. I'm about to put it down into position and it absolutely disappears on me. I searched around for over an hour with an extendable magnet and a torch and couldn't find it. I even resorted to grabbing the hose pipe and trying to like spray water down there to hopefully just flush the bolt out from wherever it was.
Well done guys, welcome to about 7.5 hours later, and here I am back still doing the same job. So since that bolt absolutely disappeared down the engine, back of the engine bay, I tried everything for about 2 hours straight to try and get that bolt back. Nothing. I have no idea, it's gone to Narnia. Anyway, I asked around, messaged a few people, I managed to find a bolt about half an hour drive from here on a Sunday. They were willing to go to the breaker's yard that was shut in order to get the bolt for me, and so yeah, one thing leads to another, and here we are 7:30 at night under a little rechargeable spotlight trying to get this thing back together because I need to drive the van tomorrow. Fingers crossed this don't take too long and be up and running, and then yeah, I'll let you know when it's done, but enjoy the view of my back while I wrestle this bolt into position because you can't see anything anyway. Right then, well, that is the thermostat housing back in position. Well, that's easy to tell for you guys. And I also have absolutely no problem telling you that was quite possibly one of the most frustrating jobs I've ever done on any vehicle ever. I mean, I'm starting to think it would have been easier to just take off the whole front end, radiators and everything. I mean, I'm starting to think that the reason they don't fit a temperature gauge is that you never find out how hard it is to replace the thermostat. Not only that, but this engine is Narnia. I've lost one O-ring, one bolt and a 10mm socket in this engine bay somewhere. I've tried everything to find all three of them. Yeah, I've given up. I'd rather buy new ones. So all that's left to do really is to fit those two hoses back on, top up the coolant and get it up to temperature. Alright then guys, well welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. When I say a couple of weeks, it's been over a month since I did the thermostat in this van. And there's a few reasons for that. And number one is I've been really busy. It's the run up to Christmas, and I don't know about you, but I've had literally no time to myself. So I thought to finish this video off, I need to prove to you that the thermostat now works. I know I kind of didn't prove to you that it didn't work before, but you've watched me change the thermostat now. You know that it's swapped and it should be working as it was meant to. So I've now flashed that engine temperature gauge up on the screen for you. That's directly from the Carista app, and that's live data coming to you from my phone right now. And you can see we're at 93 degrees, absolutely chilling, 94 degrees, no problem at all. Now, you can tell everything's working properly because when I pull up to this junction here in a minute, it's gonna come right back down. I've been keeping an eye on this while driving around on long journeys. We never see above 95, 96. So I'm not worried. That's the thermostat doing its thing, constantly letting a bit of coolant in, letting it go to the radiator. It's never going to be perfect. If you have a gauge in your car, it sits at 90, but it's a little bit of a lie. So already, we're only just pulling up to this light. I've only just come off the motorway. And yeah, we're already down at 92 degrees, and that'll keep dropping. If I'm cruising at like 30 miles an hour, it's sit about 85, 86, 87. So I'm happy that it's working as it should be. I've got no overheating problems. I've got no leaks, very important. Strangely, I never found that bolt. I don't know where it went. But anyway, guys, if you're interested in doing your own thermostat, be prepared. It is stressful, it is hard work, And if you want my advice, take the front end off, drop your radiators, drop everything so you can get to it more easily, because doing the thermostat is not a job I want to do again anytime soon. With that said, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like. Anything you can do really helps me out, so I really appreciate it. Since this is going to be my last video of 2023, have a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2024. Peace.